Ryan Garcia has offered his expert breakdown of the highly anticipated showdown between Jevon Davis and Frank Martin. Meanwhile, Tank has recently ignited online discussions by confidently predicting the specific round in which he would knock out Martin. He tweeted 9, leaving boxing fans to speculate that he was hinting at the round in which he would knock out Martin. However, this knockout prediction has an unexpected twist. Both boxers declared in multiple interviews prior to the battle that they intended to end the fight by knockout not too long ago. Martin was asked if he still stands by his words, and he said, "Yeah, like Tank can be knocked out, he ain't exempt from getting knocked out. So if he getting there act up, he going to run into something, or I might go get him." Both fighters exude confidence, each predicting a knockout to settle the score. On the other hand, trainer Robert Garcia asserts that Frank Martin will be the toughest opponent Gervonta Davis has encountered in his 11-year professional boxing career. Robert is enthusiastic about this matchup for Tank Davis, believing that Martin will provide a significant challenge when they face off at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. He said, "Probably to date. And I'm thinking about the other opponents. Tank has had this as probably the toughest." Tank Davis's management team has been highly strategic in selecting his opponents, a factor contributing to his limited popularity. He relied on Ryan Garcia to achieve the first successful pay-per-view event of his career, which is unfortunate. Tank's management and previous promoters may congratulate themselves on Tank's current level of popularity, but their approach has stifled his growth, leaving him stagnant and unable to ascend to the heights achieved by Canelo Alvarez. Robert said he has picked the right opponents. The lightweight division is stacked. There's Shakur LA, just to mention those two that are right in my head right now. He's never gone after those guys. There was anticipation that Tank would embrace a fresh start following his bout with Ryan last year, opting to challenge the top contenders at 135, such as Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson. However, he has yet to take that path, indicating that old habits persist. It's questionable whether he'll ever alter his approach, given his cautious selection of opponents. Robert said they've done a great job with him. This is probably going to be the most talented, the most difficult one that he's faced. I think the experience that Tank has of being on the big stage, headlining so many big fights, and the crowd is all going to be in his favor. Martin stands head and shoulders above anyone Tank has squared off against. It's not exactly high praise, considering Tank's opponents have mostly been second-tier fighters like Ryan Hector, Garcia, Rolando Romero, Leo Santa Cruz, and Isaac Cruz. According to Robert, I think that's going to make a big difference. Frank Martin's first time ever in a big fight like that might play a big role. He has an experienced trainer that has been there before. That should help. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. An upset in this bout remains a distinct possibility given Tank's prolonged absence from the ring and his encounter with a formidable adversary. For the first time, Martin possesses the potential to exhaust Tank and secure a victory, thereby revealing his true capabilities. Robert said Gervonta does really good numbers, but I think he still needs to get those big names in front of him. I haven't heard him try to make a fight with Shakur or any of them, or any of the top guys even at 140. Shakur Stevenson, the reigning WBC lightweight champion, is foreseeing a swift and decisive victory for Gervonta over Frank Martin. Stevenson, with confidence, predicts that Davis will utterly dominate Martin, whom he categorizes as a C-level opponent. Shakur believes that Martin, who entered the boxing scene at the age of 15, faces a disadvantage compared to fighters like Tank Davis, and Shakur himself, who started earlier. This late start has placed him in a position where he must strive to catch up with his counterpart. He said, "The way I look at that fight, it's level. There are levels to the fight. Tank is going to go in there and figure out that he's really not on his level. And then he's going to annihilate him and feel like he's on the top of the world. because he annihilated somebody that is sea level. Shocker perception of Martin has undergone a significant shift. Initially intrigued by Martin's penchant for conflict, Shakur's perspective took a turn when Martin declined a lucrative offer for a fight. Suddenly, Martin finds himself relegated to what Shakur terms the sea level category. In his estimation, Martin stands a solid chance in this bout due to Tank's return from a 14-month hiatus during which he hasn't encountered opponents of Martin's caliber. Tank, hailing from Baltimore, has primarily defeated adversaries significantly inferior to Martin's competition. Shakur said about Tank Davis, "I think he fought better fighters than Frank. Honestly, I see Frank, and I'm not trying to disrespect Frank, because I heard him say in an interview that I'm hating on him. I'm really not." Shakur isn't about to sing Martin's praises, not when he's eyeing about with Tank Davis. It wouldn't be wise for him to criticize the face of boxing. Given the potential payday fighting Tank could bring, the last thing Shakur should do is provoke him and risk losing out on that opportunity. He said, "I don't really have anything to hate on him, but the levels Frank Martin started boxing at 17 years old, 15. Whatever it is, he clearly started late. He's like a behind-the-scenes fighter, so he's got to catch up to all the years that we've been putting in since youngsters. I don't think there's any way he can beat Tank Davis." Errol Spence has previously stated that he preferred Frank to fight someone like Gervonta or Shakur as opposed to Keen Davis. He said, "I know why he keeps saying Kaysen Davis. I mean, he's a good fighter. I like him. But he always talks about, oh, I'm only 5-0. I'm only 6-0, whatever he is, 7-0. He always says that, so if he fights Frank and Frank beats him, he's going to say, oh, I was only 7-0. It would definitely be a good fight." Moreover, Spence conveyed his belief that Frank was primed for greater tests, stressing the importance of timing. He advocated for matchups against top-tier competitors such as Shakur Stevenson or Gervonta Davis, underscoring the significant financial and career advantages such bouts could offer compared to facing Kaysen Davis. Spence underscored the crucial role of financial gains in boxing and proposed that confronting and triumphing over a more formidable adversary like Shakur or Gervonta could propel Frank's career to new heights. Spence added, "I feel like he's ready, but he's got to wait his time. Man, I want to see Frank fight, maybe Shakur Stevenson. You've got Tank a lot of big fights. He ain't getting paid nothing fighting K. Davis, The end of the day, regardless of all these deals and things like that, it's about the money, man. He's sharp as hell, but somebody's got to get in there and make him uncomfortable." Spence also considered the idea that most fighters stay calm and confident until they encounter a really difficult opponent. "I know why people keep saying Keen Davis. I mean, he a good fighter. I like him. But like you always talk about, oh, I'm only 5-0. I'm only 6-0, whatever he is, 7-0. He always say that, so if he fight Frank and Frank beat him, he going to say, oh, I was only 7-0. It be a good fight. I feel like he ready. But K got to wait his time, man. I want to see Frank fight, maybe Steven. No, you got Tank a lot of big fights. He not, and he ain't get paid nothing fighting Quinn Davis, At the end of the day, regardless of all these busts and things like that, it's about the money, man. Sharp as hell. But somebody got to get in there and make him uncomfortable. Hey, like that, he like that for show. I feel like, nobody ever took Shakur out of his element. Either there's been a lot of guys like that until they fight somebody really like that too, and they end up getting beat." Spence hinted that even a talent like Shakur Stevenson might stumble when facing a formidable opponent, indicating that all fighters have thresholds and can be thrown off their game in specific situations. Spence said, he's like that for sure, but I feel like, nobody ever took Shakur out of his element. Either it's been a lot of guys like that until they fight somebody really like that too, and they end up getting beat. Devin Haney interjected in the meanwhile to offer his viewpoint on Martin's choice to confront Davis. Haney said, "I think that Tank beats him. I mean, we haven't seen Frank Martin at the highest level, the elite level, not saying that he isn't elite, but we just haven't seen him. Do I think he's going to go in there and lay down, no, I think he is going to go in there to get his respect. And he's going to fight back, having faced formidable adversaries such as Ryan Kesky Romero Duno and Jackson Marines. Martin finds himself in a crucible of competition. Devin Haney posits that Martin's relative lack of experience might leave him ill-equipped to tackle the echelons of excellence typified by Van Davis, and provided the resume Tank has built over the years. Haney said, "But I just think that Tank has the experience, has his skills, and will be victorious. But will it be easy? I can't say. But do I think that Frank Martin is going to go in there and show that he is a contender? Yes." Devin Haney maintains the perspective that Van Davis outshines Martin in terms of skills. But Frank disagrees, noting that Davis didn't stand out as the most powerful puncher he's faced. What's intriguing is that Frank, having assisted in Davis's training,